I'm Kimberly with Fun For You in-Home Pet Care, and today we're going to talk about the myth of purse pigs, pygmy pigs, dwarf pigs, little teacup pigs, and talk about the realities of what happens when these pigs get fed and they actually grow into normal-sized pigs. So today, that's what we're going to learn about. Little tiny pigs that aren't so little anymore. So the first thing we want to talk about is nutrition, because that's paramount to the life and the health, obviously, of any pet pig. And the reality with potbelly pigs, or Vietnamese potbelly pigs is the breed that all of these tiny little pigs are marketed from, is that they have to eat a very healthy, well-balanced diet. They can't eat dog food or cat food. They have to have fresh vegetables and fruits, pretty much a vegetarian diet. They have to have quality nutrition, so pig chow is one of the elements of a really well-balanced diet. Yes, baby girl. And she used to be a teacup pig. And guess what? She's not going to fit in a teacup anymore. And we barely feed her much of anything. She eats greens, she eats some apples, she eats carrots, she has some pig chow, and we give her some watermelon, and then for a treat they get air popped popcorn because they love that little crunch. But the reality is that pigs don't eat much, and there's no real method to how much they're supposed to eat. But obviously she was overweight, is still overweight. She has arthritis now because of that, and she was a rescue. So this is what happens when they're not properly cared for, when they're overfed and probably not the best diet in the world. They grow to be large pets. So that's something to be mindful of, is when you're an owner of a pig, you need to understand what their dietary requirements are and then how much to actually feed them, and then mind their weight so that you're not causing other conditions like arthritis and obesity, diabetes, all the other stuff that comes with being obese as a pet. So the second thing we need to be mindful of when you're talking about having a pet pig is that they need to be spayed and neutered. And there's several reasons why, but in Linus's case, if he wasn't a neutered male, he may be aggressive. We may not be able to sit here in the pen with him because he's got tusks and he could be getting kind of hormonal and aggressive. Also, male pigs, when they're not neutered, they smell. They're a little more musky than the average pig smell, so you need to be mindful of that. They also get a lot of bladder stones if they're not neutered, and that's a really high risk emergency type medical situation. Number 4 is they can't reproduce if they're neutered. So we don't want a lot of abandoned or neglected pigs running around out there because someone didn't neuter their pigs. So that's a 4th reason why you want to neuter your pig or spay your pig if it's a female. But just being mindful of the maintenance of a pet pig. He's got tusks, that has to be managed. His dental work has to be managed. His bladder health has to be managed. And he's a big guy. He was a teacup pig at one point, and now look at him. He would not fit in any teacup that I own, and that's the reality of owning pet pigs. These pot-bellied pigs grow when they're fed properly, and they become beautiful animals, but they're not going to fit in your purse, and they're not going to be something that you can walk around the shopping mall on a leash. So be very mindful of how cute they are, but also that they grow. The third thing we should talk about is the type of housing that you should, or space you should have for your pigs. So this is Sugar, and she's thinks she's a dog. She actually, when her owners are home, she lives in the house with the dogs. But as you can see, she is also not a teacup size pig anymore. She's grown into her full size, and she has a big giant bed over here in her den, if you will, and she needs space to walk and get her exercise. When she's not in the house with the dogs, she comes out here onto the ranch and she gets to run around and play with dogs and cats and other critters. And then she has this giant bed over here with all of her bedding. But when she gets bored, she'll eat things. She'll eat the couch. She'll eat her bedding. When she's pouting and mad that her owners are gone, she actually shreds her comforters and tears everything up. She is a messy, messy little spoiled pig. So it's important that you remember how much space your pig is going to need, how big they're gonna get. They don't fit well in apartments normally. They're pretty heavy walking around on the floors. And the fact that she needs to have exercise. She needs to have fresh air and exercise. So she needs to have a good space to run around in. This is a nice enclosure for her, keeps her out of the sun, keeps her out of the elements. She's got lots of bedding over here to cuddle up into at night. She's gonna burrow, she's gonna root like they instinctively do, and she's gonna make a mess. So she needs to have space to do that, and that's why potbelly pigs are not good apartment pigs. And they're not going to be a teacup pig. They actually grow into a regular full-size pet that needs a lot of attention and care. So nutrition is a big part of taking good care of pigs, and the reality of feeding potbelly pigs is they're pretty much vegetarians, and they have lots of fresh vegetables, hearty greens, lots of fiber in the greens, some fruit. Be careful of the fruit because of the sugar content. The piggy kibble is where they get some great nutritional value. And then you add maybe some oats or a little bit of cereal sometimes to give them a little more fiber and some more, little bit of carbs. But the biggest thing about pig nutrition is you cannot feed them dog food or cat food. It's too high of protein, and it's not healthy for pigs to eat. So be mindful of the fruits and vegetables that you want to feed your pig, and make sure that you mix it up a little bit and give them some variety. But they don't eat very much either. I mean, for a 200-pound pig, this is one meal, and it's not very much food. So just be really careful about understanding their nutritional needs and making sure that you're meeting those with every meal. The final word on all of this about potbelly pigs and teacup pigs, dwarf pigs, mini pigs, whatever you want to call them, is that they grow. They procreate very rapidly. A pig can start reproducing at about 3 to 4 months old. And so if you've got a breeder who is showing you a little parent or a little couple of pigs that just had little teacup babies, well, guess what? Those pigs that had those babies are probably still babies themselves. They may only be 3 or 4 or 5 months old. And so we have, we have to be very mindful of the fact that you've got to spay and neuter your pigs so that we don't have these abandoned pets. We don't have these beautiful creatures who are left at the animal shelters without homes because they grew, because there's too many of them, because they didn't get spayed and neutered when they were of age to get spayed and neutered, and they procreate very quickly. So they could have 3 or 4 litters a year, and an average litter could be 6 to 10 little piglets. And all of a sudden you've got one pig producing, 30, 40, 50 pigs a year. That's a lot of pigs on the market for sale and then being abandoned or given up because they grow into a regular full-size animal at 200 pounds, 150, sorry, Gabby, she gets very upset if we say her real weight. She's 120 pounds, but she doesn't want to be, a burden on somebody. And guess what? A 120-pound pet is something that you're going to have to take care of and do a lot of maintenance and just management of a good care of a pet. And she's 120 pounds. So you have to be careful of what you wish for and make sure that you spay and neuter your pigs. Thank you for watching our channel today. I hope you learned something cool about pot-bellied pigs and the size that they actually grow to. If you'd like to learn more about pet care and fun pet care tips, subscribe to our channel. I'm Kimberly with Fun For You.